Hi everyone, welcome to ZyNerd's info guide on NRI eligibility for All India Counselling. So we will be looking at NRI quota under All India Counselling PG today. So in case you are a ZyNerd subscriber, you would have seen what ranks NRI quota seats are available and what are the closing ranks, fee structure, the stipend and bond in case whether they give you stipend, bond, etc. for all the institutes. This is specific to NRI quota for All India Counselling, which basically means this is only for deemed universities. We mentioned in our last session on ultimate guide to NEET PG counselling that there are around 42 deemed universities across India, and we also mentioned that all the deemed university seats are available under All India Counselling under a quota which is called MNG quota, management quota. This is 85%. The rest 15% of seats go into what? 15% of deemed university seats go into NRI quota in All India Counselling. So this is a maximum. Not every institute contributes 15% into NRI quota. And second, this list of seats distributed also varies. Like let us say an institute has only 2 pediatric seats, 15% may not be relevant. 1 year they would contribute to NRI quota, next year to management quota, they modify it accordingly. But overall as a total, 15% of seats maximum go into NRI quota. Some seats are not even contributed. So that depends. When will we get to know the seats that are contributed from deemed universities into NRI quota? Only when the NRI quota seat matrix is up. Certain deemed universities, around to 15 to 16, would publish their seat matrix itself as part of their prospectus. This will happen around 10 to 15 days before the counselling starts. Now, NRI seats are all available for candidates who are either NRI or candidates who are sponsored. Somebody else sponsors them for NRIs. So this set of seats which are available are under the All India Counselling only from deemed universities. If you are looking at private institutes, you have to go to state counselling. We will be looking at All India Counselling NRI seats. On the conversion part, we will get to it later. Eligibility for NRI quota, like we said, there are 2 sets of candidates who are eligible for NRI quota. One is candidate himself or herself is NRI. The candidate itself is NRI. Second, a nearest relative of first degree. So this is a very important term. A nearest relative of first degree is an NRI, and the person is willing to sponsor the candidate, which means the person is willing to bear the expenses for the candidate's entire course. This is what is the judicial definition. So basis this judicial directions, the entire eligibility is defined. Candidate is NRI or nearest relative of first degree is NRI. There's been a lot of confusion because those who are not nearest relative, first degree, they used to sponsor long time back. But after court cases, it was clearly directed on who can sponsor as an NRI candidate. An NRI sponsor. If the candidate is NRI, no issues. The candidate themselves are eligible. In case the candidate is not NRI, a nearest relative has to sponsor. Who can sponsor? This is again for deemed All India Counselling. Is this the same for every state? No. This is only for All India Counselling. Father or mother can sponsor. If your father is NRI or mother is NRI, they can sponsor you. Real brother or sister. When you say real brother or sister, your siblings, and real brother or sister of father or mother, basically your real uncle or aunt. Can be a real brother or sister of mother too. Basically paternal side uncles or aunts or maternal side uncles or aunts, and paternal grandfather or paternal grandmother, maternal grandfather or maternal grandmother. So your father's actual brother or sister can sponsor, or your grandparents can sponsor. Similarly, your mother's actual brother or sister or your grandparents on the mother's side can sponsor. And the last one is your first degree paternal cousins. Your father or mother's real brother or sister, their children. So basically, your grandfather is there, your father or their siblings, their children, they can sponsor. So this is basically your first degree maternal cousins or paternal cousins can sponsor. Hope this part is clear. In case you have any confusion on this, you can always get back to this. Only these set of candidates can sponsor you for getting an NRI seat under All India Counselling. NRI, whenever we mention here, you can always replace it with OCI or PIO. If you are an OCI card holder, you can replace it with OCI, or if you are a PIO card holder, that is also applicable. You can be sponsored by an OCI, or you can yourself be an OCI. OCI candidates, in case you've got your OCI card before 4/3/2021, the other clauses, the Supreme Court order permits you to take up seats equivalent to NRI citizens. That is separate. This is separate. You can still have an NRI seat available through the NRI quota under All India Counselling. So, if you are an OCI candidate, all you need is the OCI card. No other specific confirmation for you being an NRI is required. You need your OCI card. That is sufficient. Now, we will go to what are the documents required for NRI quota seats. This primarily look at from an NRI sponsor perspective. Somebody is sponsoring you, ready to sponsor you. Whom did we say is ready, can sponsor you? Your relative, first degree relative can sponsor you. It can be your father or mother until your first degree maternal cousins. If they are sponsoring you, they have to take care of the expenses. We will come to the expenses part later, how it is funded, who transfers the money, etc. But documents required is what we will take up here. Before we go to this, a word of caution. There are a lot of people who are falling for certain suggestions saying that you can pick up your second degree relative, third degree relative, nobody checks, etc. Actually, the MCC checks. In certain cases, they also send across the documents to Ministry of External Affairs to figure out whether it is fake or not. There have been cases too. So be very cautious if you are moving beyond the line. There are a lot of checks nowadays because there is a lot of fraud as well as far as NRI is concerned. So in case there is a confusion, just check and then go ahead. Especially with the documents, don't create fake documents. We wouldn't suggest that at all. Beyond that, it is your call. There are a lot of issues on that as well. So proof for the candidate is or sponsor is NRI. This is the first document that is required. A passport or visa. In case the candidate is NRI, a passport or visa. Which passport? Indian passport or visa only, because the candidate is still an Indian citizen. Or OCI or PAO card. If they are foreign nationals who are sponsoring, but OCI PAOs, their OCI or PAO card. Do we need a signature or notarization on this? As far as All India goes, this does not have a signature, require a signature or a notarization. But still, if you want, you can get it notarized or signed. It is up to you. You want to be double sure, you can get it signature of a copy of this signature or which is notarized. But note, we'll get back to what notarized mean in some time, but that is one. Where do you get it? Obviously, it is your document or your sponsor's document. Second, we have affidavit of relationship. What is it? If you are sponsored, you will have to, the person who is sponsoring you will have to confirm that he is the relationship between you and the sponsor should be clearly mentioned. Like, this is my first degree paternal cousin. This is my nephew. That should be clearly mentioned in a letter, and that is called the relationship affidavit, and it should be signed by the sponsor and notarized. And then there is an affidavit of sponsorship, second affidavit. You can combine these together too. In this affidavit, the sponsor has to mention that they are ready to sponsor you for the course, bearing the entire expenses, taking you as a ward, etc. That needs to be mentioned. Who has to sign? Again by the sponsor, and this has to be notarized as well. So where do you get this? That is the next question. We will come to this at a later point in time. This has to be signed by the sponsor in a stamp paper and notarized by any one of the below. So in a stamp paper in India, if you are getting it, you should be signing, you should be getting it notarized from an Indian notary, or you can even get it notarized from a foreign notary at the country of residence. Each country, let us say it is a US or UK, there will be a notary public there as per the country's rules. You can take this, send this across to them. They can get it notarized over there and send it across to you, or prepare it there and send it across to you. Or an affidavit by the embassy is also okay. You sign it as an affidavit by the embassy, that is also okay. The embassy signs saying that we have confirmed that this has been signed by the particular individual who is sponsoring you. That is also fine. So this is for All India Counselling only. Some states may not accept this, so don't go by that. For some state might not accept every one of these. For all India, MCC accepts. Then the next thing is certificate from the embassy in the country of residence. So first thing that we gave is the NRI proof, passport or visa, affidavit, relationship and sponsorship certificate. Next is the embassy certificate. This is usually called as the embassy certificate. You go to the embassy nearby and then you tell them that I have been an NRI. You show your passport and required documents, employment proof, etc. They will get a letter. You have a letter format that we will share with you as well. They will give you a signed letter which has the signature, designation and seal of the Indian embassy. This is the Indian embassy obviously. You go to the Indian embassy, get it signed by the issuing authority. That letter format is available. We will share that link, and that needs to be taken from the Indian consulate or the embassy at the country where the candidate or the sponsor, in case you are sponsor, the sponsor should take it and give it to you, send it across to you. Is there any notarization required? No, the embassy itself is signing, that is sufficient. Then you have your NEET PG qualification, the NEET PG scorecard. This has not yet come, right? It will be released after the results, a few days after the results, you can get that. Relationship affidavit. The relationship affidavit is a family tree which is notarized by the Tahsildar. This is slightly different from the affidavit of relationship. This is basically a family tree that needs to be given. It is called a relationship affidavit in certain terms, but actually a family tree which clearly mentions how you are related to the NRI sponsor. This is notarized by the Tahsildar. When we say notarized, it is signed and stamped with a seal by the Tahsildar. That is what is required. This you need to get from the Tahsildar's office. This might be missing in last year's, this family tree might be missing in last year's documents, list of documents in round 1, round 2. But this year in MDS they had asked, last year round 2, round 3 they had asked, I think. So always be sure to get this. And then there's an annexure 1. This will be in the NRI notification itself. You will get that once they share it. You just need to sign it and send it across. Nothing, no notarization is required. It is an affidavit saying I have given all the documents and all particulars are true. In case you have any of these certificates in English, in any other language, let us say in not in English, then it is always better to have a certified English translation and send it and produce it at the time of MCC asks for the certificates. Now we will look at the affidavit. So one by one, we have already looked at every document that is required. Passport or OCA card was the first one. Next is the sponsorship and the relationship certificate. So here the NRI sponsor gets this on a stamp paper. The amount does not matter. It can be 100, more than 100, doesn't matter. That mentioning that I have taken Miss or Mr. as my ward and I am willing to sponsor him or her, and that my relationship with the candidate, here sponsorship affidavit is done, this part. Then my relationship with the candidate is that, which is basically mention your relationship with the candidate in terms of whether it is you are the nephew, etc., or son, etc. And I undertake to bear the entire expenses during this. This is a combined sponsorship and relationship affidavit. This, where can you get this? This can be put up, printed on a stamp paper for ₹100 or anything more, that doesn't matter. And then after printing it, you can get it signed by the sponsor either in India, then take it to a notary. Notary publics are advocates who are authorized to sign and stamp saying that this particular person has sworn in front of me that this is basically me signing this document saying that this content is true. So they will put up a seal and signature over here and they will give you the certificate. You need to take a scan copy of it and keep it. That is the relationship and sponsorship affidavit. In case you are not able to do it in India, you can also print this and get this notarized in your country of residence. In that scenario, the stamp paper, etc. might not be required. You can even do it in your country's format, whichever it is. This notary can be in your country of residence. It can also be authorized by your embassy authority. The same printout taken. In case the embassy is ready to do it, many embassies won't do it because this is something that they can't validate. Your NRI certificate they will validate, this they can't. So that you can check with your embassy if they are ready to do it. Does it have to be exactly similar? No, the formats are just representative It can be anything equivalent similar to that. All that it needs is willing to sponsor and relationship is as under. Do change the years, etc., and then take a printout. That is enough. Can it be separate? One for relationship, one for sponsorship? Yes, it is, can be separate, or it can be the same together as well. Now we look at the embassy letter. It is a simple letter. This person with this passport number, place of issue, he has been residing since this particular date. He or she is a non-resident of India. Who needs to sign it? It needs to be taken from the consulate or Indian consulate or the embassy, and signature, designation and seal should be there. Otherwise it will be rejected. You should have the signature, the designation and the name of the individual usually is there. Even if not, this designation of the individual and the seal of the issuing authority should be there. This format need not be exactly the same. Anything which says that you have this Indian passport, you have been residing in this country since this date, and you are an NRI, that is sufficient. Now, and then we have come to the self affidavit which needs to be provided. So this is annexure 1, which you just need to sign. This just say that this person applying for Indian to NRI for the NEET PG counselling, you have to change this to 2024 and then mention that I have attached all these documents and sign over here saying that all the above information is true, and in case it is found to be wrong, then the seat can be cancelled. This is a self affidavit only. Nothing is required. It is not required to be notarized. If you want, you can notarize. That is up to you. This format is exactly as given in the application form. Then we come to the family tree. The family tree is usually in this format. In some states, they give a different format saying this person is a nephew, etc. This needs to be taken by the Tahsildar, signed with seal or stamp by the Tahsildar. How does a family tree work? Let us say you are sponsored by the cousin sister. Then it needs to say your paternal or maternal grandfather's name here, and that person here, your father and mother, and your name. You are the candidate, your name. So it will clearly say father and this person is your grandfather, and through your maternal or paternal grandfather. Then the sibling is mentioned over here. Your father or mother's sibling, brother or sister is mentioned over here, and their son or daughter, and this is the person who is sponsoring you. That relationship needs to clearly come out. So in this case, what is mentioned? This is the candidate. The candidate's father or mother, maternal or paternal grandfathers, another son is, and their cousin brother or cousin sister, that person is sponsoring you. This relationship is clearly mentioned over here. So this person is sponsoring here, or this person can sponsor. Any one of these in this line can sponsor. That is what is clearly mentioned. You can create something like this and get it signed from the Tahsildar. In case they have a different format, that is also fine, but it should be a family tree kind of, similarly representing your the relationship between the sponsor and the individual who is actually applying. Now, what is the process? Now all this is fine. What is the process? First, get all the documents required ready. Right now you should have all the documents. If not, to ensure that you get the documents required, at least a week to 10 days before the counselling starts. Counselling is the registration process. Before this starts, there will be an intimation saying 3 days we give you or 2 days we give you. Send across all the scan copies through email to MCC. This is for All India Counselling. Okay, so that get all the documents required ready. MCC will share a notification, 2 to 3 days timeline will be provided for. Keep looking at MCC or in the ZyNerd website. We will be updating everything. Send across all relevant documents to the email ID. Don't wait till the last minute. Many candidates have missed out because they will say 11 o'clock you have to send by 11 o'clock on this particular day. If you send at 11:02, we have known candidates who have missed out because they will not take up this documents. Wait for the NRI eligibility list. Wait for the list. This will come during the choice filling. When the choice filling is happening, or just a day before or 1 or 2 days during the choice filling, then only you will be able to see the NRI seats. Till that point in time, you will see all other seats, you will not see NRI seats. Fill choices for NRI seats in addition to the all eligible seats. That is what you will know. This NRI conversion will happen in round 1, before round 1 once they will ask you to email, and then before round 2 again they will ask you. In case you have not already done, you have a chance before round 2 or before round 3. But many good NRI seats will be taken up in round 1 and they won't leave it. In case there is a lower ranker who is taking up those seats and you don't get it in round 2, you lose that option. So always better to decide before round 1 and not go till round 3, in which case many lower rankers would take, you might not get that seat. You would finally rue your decision saying I could have applied as NRI right in the beginning. So take a decision now. At least take a decision. In case you don't get any other seat, will I go for NRI seats is a decision that needs to be taken right away before round 1. We'll quickly close with a few FAQs. What seats are candidates who are part of NRI list eligible for? The first query is, you are obviously eligible for NRI quota of deemed universities. These will be specifically mentioned as NRI and in Hamdard. Quota is what? NRI quota, Hamdard, MD, pediatrics. So this is a separate choice, different from management quota, Hamdard, MD, pediatrics. Both are separate choices. They are also eligible. Even if you apply as NRI, become NRI, you are also eligible for management quota seats. That too you are eligible for. You will see both these choices. No need to worry saying that I am applying as NRI, I will not see management quota seats. Will you be eligible for all India quota seats? Yes. If you are NRI or NRI sponsored, you will still be eligible for all India quota seats. But during registration, you will have to select AAQ. You will be given choices during registration, which quotas you need to apply for. You will select AAQ, deemed, and also email the documents 5 days before during the timeline. Then you will be eligible for all India quota seats, which is the government seats. You will be eligible for DNB seats, MDMS, DNB, all the seats. You will also be eligible for deemed management seats and also NRI seats. So all these you will be eligible for. You don't need to worry about it. DNB post MBBS, yes, eligible for all these seats. Now, what are the seats you are not eligible for? In case you apply as NRI, you will not be eligible for Jain minority or Muslim minority seats. This quota seats you will not be eligible for. Can a distant relative or a second degree sponsor, who is not first degree maternal cousin, etc., can they sponsor? No. Based on Supreme Court order, they cannot sponsor. If you are trying out, you are going against the Supreme Court order. Check twice. There will be a lot of candidates who come up to us saying that this is happening in this state, the institute doesn't care, why do you care, etc. It is up to you to take a call. We sincerely don't suggest that, going against the entire rules which are being prescribed. In case there is an issue, that becomes an issue for you in terms of providing fake certificates, action can be taken. So first degree relatives can do this, sponsor, the rest of them that cannot sponsor. Going beyond the line is not something that we suggest, though it can only be decided by you. If you apply as an NRI in All India Counselling, will I be eligible as NRI in all the states? I just send across everything to MCC. Will the state of Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh consider me as NRI? No. This is a separate process. Just because you are eligible as NRI in MCC, you send across documents, they will not consider you as NRI. There is a separate application process. For each state, you have to apply again as NRI. Only then they will be considering as per their rules. Second, I did not apply as NRI here. I don't want seat in deemed universities, but I want to apply as NRI in states. Should I apply over here? No. If you are not interested in deemed NRI seats, don't apply here. But take that call properly right before round 1. I am absolutely clear I won't take a deemed NRI seat. Then you don't need to apply here, but you can go ahead to the Maharashtra application. You are interested in Maharashtra NRI seats, there you can apply as NRI. Doesn't matter whether you applied in MCC or not. This, every state, everything is exclusive. Each one, it is your call to apply as NRI or not. Your status here does not change anything. Moreover, whether you applied as NRI in All India, in the examinations, NEET PG exams, that doesn't matter too. Here you can always apply, here you can always apply with an NRI sponsor. There will also be an option to change your category from Indian to NRI. Don't do that. You will, if you are sponsored, there will be a lot of confusion. If you are sponsored, then email is the right method to change Indian to NRI to get NRI seats. If you are NRI sponsored, don't make any changes when you log in or when you register for MCC. This is the right method. You go in, automatically your category will change to NRI. Finally, there is one confusion always. First we will address this confusion and then come to the next. This will be what you see in the All India Counselling brochure, MCC's All India Counselling brochure. It will say there might be reservation for Jain minority in certain deemed universities. Candidates claiming reservation under NRI quota will not be eligible to claim reservation status under any other quota. Jain minority, Muslim minority, and any other quota. So this says if I am NRI, I will not be able to claim reservation under any other quota. Now some candidates would be OBC, EWS, SC, ST. Okay, under All India quota, I would want to take seats under these categories. Can I apply as NRI and also take seats under AEQ, these categories? Because I have a certificate, this is actually properly I got the certificate as per rules. This, even though this says under any other quota, we are not sure why it says so. What is the actual interpretation? Every year, candidates who are part of NRI list, eligible, who can fill NRI choices, have also been allotted under All India quota in OBC, SC, ST category. This we can confirm. We believe that that will continue. You will be eligible for all these seats under reservation in All India quota or in government seats under DNB quota. So that should be possible in both government seats under DNB quota. That is what we see. But this clause always exists. There is some slight confusion. Now, how do I fill in my choices? We'll quickly close this with that query. How do I fill in my choices? Let us say I want to look at management quota and NRI seats. You will see two choices. You're only looking at general medicine and Hamdard. Let us assume that. Then you can take, obviously you will put MNG, Hamdard, MD general medicine as round first choice and NRI as the second choice. This is a lower fee. This is a higher fee. Now let us say I have a third and fourth choice. I am also looking at MNG seats in which counseling, which institute? Let us say Kasturba, Mangalore or Manipal, let's say, and MD GenMed. I am also looking at MD GenMed, Kasturba, NRI seats. So what will be the usual order? It is up to you to decide. One way to look at it, I will look at the fee structure first. I don't mind whether Kasturba, Hamdard, whichever one is the best. I don't mind if Hamdard is extremely good and that is my first preference, but it is costlier. I would go to Kasturba management quota instead of Hamdard. Don't figure out whether Kasturba is better or Hamdard. In that scenario, I will put in one MNG Hamdard, and second would be, because I am more interested in reduction of fee or the fee is the concern, I will put in 2 Kasturba as my choice, and then 3 NRI Hamdard and 4 MNG Kasturba. So this is what I will put in. Sorry, 4, what is it? NRI Kasturba. Because I think that Hamdard is better, but fee is my first decision. Or I can even put in, I am more interested in Hamdard. This NRI additional fee doesn't matter. I want to be in Delhi, irrespective of whatever happens. Then I can put in MNG and then NRI in Hamdard. If Hamdard is more important, this cost doesn't matter. And then 3 as MNG Kasturba and 4 as NRI Kasturba. What happens in this scenario is, even if you have management quota Kasturba available and NRI Hamdard available both, you will get the NRI seat because that is your first choice. It is your call to take a cost on the institute, call on institute versus the cost. Usually it will be MNG first and then NRI second, but at some point you would not want the rest of the institutes. These are not below average. Then you would move on to NRI seats in Kasturba or the best colleges. You would give a higher preference for those colleges even though the fee is higher. Now, so that is how this entire thing is. So admissions, payments has to be done by NRI candidates or NRI sponsors through wire transfer. This wire transfer is from their foreign account in dollars or transfer through an NRI account. There are a lot of queries, and similarly candidate has to be physically present for the admissions. There is no other go. Some states, not all India, some states may require the NRI sponsor to be present. Those states you will be aware of. That we will also come and share with you. Now, flexibility on this. Is it only through an NRE account? Yes, it has to be through an NRE account through rules. NRE is a non-resident external account of the sponsor. It is a sponsor. How you are managing the finance with the sponsor, whether you somehow manage it, that is a different query. But your NRI sponsor has to send the money through their bank account to the institute. Whether the institute will allow transfer from your NRI account, sponsor is somebody else, or you have an NRE account or an external account, whether you can transfer or whether they will allow from an Indian bank account. Those are not as per rules, but that flexibility depends upon the institute. If you call them up, they may not tell you that, and they may not allow that for every candidate. So we will not be able to tell you that these institutes allow, etc. But definitely you can reach out to them prior itself, saying that I plan to transfer it through my Indian bank account or the NRO account, which is the Indian account of the sponsor, or your NRO account, which is in INR. That you can check it. But by default, it is from the foreign account in dollars or NRE account, non-resident external, which is also in dollars, the external external amount credited from the other country, that earnings from the other country. So that will be the usual process. It will usually be SWIFT or by any other mechanism that you can check with the institute. This needs to be transferred to the institute's account. So that is how it is. But the flexibility on transferring through Indian account, etc., no institute does it like, saying that provides a prospectus saying that you can do that. You will have to check with the institute for flexibility, push them for flexibility in case you are transferring it through an Indian account. This is more about NRI. We will also be looking at how to view NRI allotments possibilities in ZyNerd. We will also be supporting all our subscribers with information on what are the documents required in case you have any queries on the documents based on our experience, what results in cancellation, etc. We will be supporting our candidates on. Please call us, join our Telegram group. The Telegram group loop is in the description. It is a free Telegram group. You can join that and avail all the information. Your queries and will be clarified. You can also put in your queries in the comments. You join our Telegram groups, it will be faster, answered quickly. You can also put it in the comments. We will try to answer to the extent possible. Hope this gives you a clear idea of NRI seats in All India Counselling. For each state it is different. When we do the state-wise series, we will do it for NRI seats in the states. Thanks a lot for watching.